Hello, hello. Welcome to Revelator Alpha live show here. Yes, in the afternoon in the UK. A bit of a wet and blustery day. So I had lots of plans for tonight. So I thought I'd come and do a live show. And I thought, well, do you know what? Let me go on a little bit earlier than anticipated. So if you look at the chat right at the top, you'll see there's a link, a video link, if you want to come and join on a video here and actually have your say. Otherwise, just leave your comments in the chat and I'll try and pick them up on them. So there's quite a bit to go through, really, not only in terms of motorcycling, but also on the channel, but also Harley Davidson, of course. So I'm going to be discussing those, but I've got to say, first of all, I just want to say a big thanks to lots of people recently who've been commenting and sending in questions and all that kind of stuff via the website. It's really good to know that people are reaching out with stuff that they want to discuss as well, and also people who just kind of think like me a little bit, that sometimes not everything is all rosy out there, or they kind of see the absurdity in some things, like in the motorcycle world or Harley Davidson world or whatever it is. So it's good that I'm not alone, as it were. But look, I'm going to be going through a few things on the channel, what's happening, what's coming up as well. But I really want to get into a couple of the big things here. So the first thing I will be discussing is this sort of Chinese Sportster Evo Engine clone. I got to say a big shout out to Stephen for sending me in info about this and links to this. I hadn't picked up on it, but I kind of been doing a bit of research since I got hold of it this morning. And yeah, so we're going to be looking at that and the origin article from Bennett's blog piece, which kind of got that. Then I'm going to be looking into Harley Davidson, the Federal Trade Commission, the rap on the knuckles that they've got as well over that, and also the new enthusiast range that Harley Davidson have launched as well. But there's quite a bit to digest. So first of all, let's just get into the channel. As I say, if the things that's happening on the channel right now, there's lots and lots of content coming, and I've doubled down on YouTube this year, and I started off with saying doing a minimum of let's say a couple of videos a week, but I always said that if I've got more, I'll add more. And I think I've been speaking to a few other people recently about YouTube, and I've been saying, well, there's always this thing about YouTube, that you should always produce content that people want and people will need, and for me YouTube isn't about that. YouTube is about, as an individual, as a person, giving an opinion, and that kind of thing, engaging with opinions as well. So that's what I see it as, certainly for this channel. And with that comes experimentation, and and not being afraid to go out on a limb, as it were, and and just do something different as well. So yeah, it's not always going to be about trying to get the content that everybody wants. It's about producing content. And if I can make any parallel with anything about my channel and, let's say, music, back in the day, Bob Dylan, right? There was always Bob Dylan, cool, dark sunglasses, folk singer type thing. And then everybody was spitting feathers when he went electric, right? But do you think Bob Dylan really gives two monkeys about whether he went electric or not? He's doing his own thing, and the fans that like him carried on, and those that didn't, they went away. So that's what I think about these things, really. It's like, it's producing the content that you want to produce, and hopefully people will engage with that, and hopefully they'll come along for the ride, as it were. But anyway, let's get hey, I've got a few people here already. Thanks. Stephen, hello from the Philippines. Crikey, you're all the way over there. Hello. Is that Cebu or Cebu? Nice. Gadget from Ireland. Hello there. How are you? Thank you for joining. And Fast Belts. What a great name. Fast Belts. Hello. Here we go. Harley is really going down as a company. Well, we're going to be discussing this. They need more control of dealer pricing and also hidden third-party contracts. I am one who reported them to the FTC over bad policies and practice. I doubt you're the only one, in all fairness. Here we go. Stephen Green, Cebu. Excellent. Well, welcome. Okay, so so let's get back to the channel first of all. There's lots of stuff coming, and I've kind of divided up the channel into sort of news, opinion, and a bit of fun, really, motorcycle absurdities, which I kind of call it. So a lot of the shorts which I'm doing are kind of really tongue-in-cheek. In fact, all the videos I make are kind of a bit tongue-in-cheek in many ways, and I'm a big fan of comedy, stand-up comedy and that kind of thing, and the way stories are told through comic sequences and stuff like that. So, I keep a straight face a lot of the time, but a lot of it is based on that kind of structure as well. So each video or each bit of content always has a thread or something going on. But so there's lots of content coming. I kind of really been working overtime to schedule all this, and then it gives me more time now to do more live shows, which I've always really wanted to do a lot more of, if you know what I mean. But there we go. Right, let's just if you got any questions, by all means, put them in the comments, that kind of thing, or in the chat as well. If you're watching this video afterwards, just leave your comments below. But by all means, ask any questions, whatever you want about the channel, about bikes, about biking life, about motorcycle rallies, biking general stuff, motorcycle events, whatever in general, getting back on the road a little bit more, how it sort of has it changed a lot in the last sort of couple of years, obviously pandemic and stuff. Are you getting out and about more or less because of the fuel prices and all that sort of stuff? Are you doing longer journeys? Hasn't it really affected you, or are you kind of thinking about this a little bit more? So all that kind of stuff, let us know in the comments and that kind of thing. By all means, as I say, this is any support that you can give for the channel. There's right at the bottom, there's super chats or super stickers. But if you're watching the video afterwards, there's a super thanks button behind below the video as well. You can help support. So everything is for free, but to say, if you want to help support, I've got lots of projects coming. So as I said, this all takes sort of time and money to do, but say it's up to you whether you want to help support or not. Anyway, right, hello Damien, here we go. Damien, right, hello, I'm here too. Hello, thank you for coming in. Right, let's just get into the big subject first of all, shall we? As I say, it's this Chinese Sportster Evo Engine clone. I'm going to show you a little bit of this video in a minute, but let's just get into this first of all. Chinese motorcycle manufacturing or engine manufacturing, there's nothing new in that they've been cloning engines for a number of years, Japanese engines and that kind of stuff. But actually what's been happening in recent years, let's say, they've been producing individual engines, or they've been producing engines under license as well. And then what's happened is that quite well-known motorcycle manufacturers have shifted their manufacturing, let's say from European-based manufacturing or other parts of the world, and they've shifted it to China. So a lot of it, I call them European design houses, the likes of Benelli, MASH, a couple of British brands as well. The design is here, but it's all manufactured in China and then shipped back over. So that's what's been happening. But in recent years, also what's been happening, they've been producing engines under license for particular manufacturers. And then also, let's say a manufacturer ceases production of an engine, they then buy up the rights or the license to produce that engine and then use it as they wish for any future projects that they have. So one of the most notable one that I can think of in recent years was with Norton. Before they went bankrupt, they were doing deals with Chinese motorcycle manufacturers to produce some of the engines, and I can't remember which one was there. I don't think it was I think it was the same engine that went in the 961 Commander, but I'm not 100% sure on that. If you do, let us know. But they sold the rights to actually produce those engines over there, and you never know, they might actually produce those engines now and be using them in other bikes. But there we go. So now it seems, now I'm not 100% clear on this. It's whether this Chinese Shinrei have actually produced an engine here under license from Harley Davidson, or whether it's a direct clone with enhancements. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a screen here, and I'm going to show you which it is. This one here, basically, right. So let me have a look. Right, so basically, this is from an article from Bennett's Motorcycle Insurance, and it's by a guy called Ben Purvis. So he writes a lot here, and this is the engine from Shinrei. It's basically the Evo clone, and it's a really good article what he's written here. But basically, there's lots of details here, but they've released it. He talks about, the cloning of different engines, but it's a 1200cc. And what they have done here with this engine, they've increased the tolerance or the accuracy to 0.01 millimeters. You can see they're making a big play here of this tolerance. They've improved the engine, or so they claim. They've during the engine's development, the firm claims to have improved the crankshaft rigidity and strength, boosting durability by 25%. I mean, that's a lot. And improved heat dissipation 10%, thanks to better cylinder head, heat sinks, and oil circulation. Peak power is 60 horsepower with 90 newton meters, 66 foot-pounds of torque, and pretty much it's saying pretty much on par with the latest Sportsters, Harley Sportsters 1200. Although the Shinrei's 9.1 to 1 compression ratio is down on the 10 to 1 used by the last HE 1200s. Okay, so this engine is called the V1200. I don't know if that's a working title. V1200, and this is what you're about to see now, is what they were how they were testing it, or how they were demoing it. And this is like a profile of the engine. I mean, if you had to have a close look at this, or a glimpse of it, you would think, well, this is just a Harley engine, right? But as I say, they've made improvements on it. We'll see. So this is them showing it now. So just let me put my headphones on. So here we go. Okay, so I mean, there's that one, and I'll show you this other one. This is more of a close-up view. Let's try this one. So, I mean, that's basically what that is. Let me just get back to me there. Okay, look, so you can see it looks like a Sportster engine, right? It sounds very much like it. So there we go. Here we go. I ride a 21 Sport Glide. Thank you for your content. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, Ed, good to see you here again as well. Damien from Spain. Hello there. Here we go. That primary case looks more like an Engine Victory type than HG. Maybe they took the best of both worlds. Well, I'm sure they've done a lot. They've done a lot of research, and they've done a lot of cloning, as it were. But look, I think it's an interesting thing here. Now, if you're going to ask Harley Davidson people, they're probably going to say, no way on earth are we having this. However, is there an appetite for this type of engine Well, I would say yes, because Harley Davidson Sportsters are not available as in new products anymore. So there's still always going to be an appetite for that kind of engine. Right. Let's just say then you don't want to pay the Harley tax. You just want that bike that looks very similar to that. And you think, well, actually, if it looks like it and it sounds like it and it performs like it, it's going to be a good deal. There's going to be a market for this engine. Definitely. There's going to be a market for it around the world. Maybe not in the United States, maybe not in Europe, but there will be a market for it. And whether it is just purely for the Chinese market, who knows? But I would say that if they've got this engine cloned and they've improved it, let's say with heat dissipation and with oiling and durability and everything like that, and if they've tweaked it so it does comply with emissions control or emissions standards, Euro 5, let's say. And do you know what? I'm not sure if it would actually. I wonder if it would comply with Euro 5. But I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see, how they use this engine. Apparently, it's going to be officially launched later on in the year in September, according to the article from Bennett's there. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see if they're going to make a Sportster clone bike as well. Perhaps I wouldn't put it past them, or some kind of cruiser, that kind of air-cooled cruiser. Well, exactly. What's the bike going to look like? Well, again, as I say, it could be anything, really, couldn't it? But it'd be interesting to see. Now, this is where I see this engine going. It's either going to be a cruiser or a bike, let's say, that's very similar to the Sportsters, or they're just it's going to be so cheap that people are going to want to buy into that and think, well, okay, this is an engine that might be better than the Sportster, the Evo, might be more durable, and all these things. Or so they claim. I mean, who knows, right? But it's going to cost a fraction, the fraction of what you pay for a Harley. Okay, so you could either buy the complete bike or maybe you just buy the engine. So let's just say that you are not really concerned about Harley Davidson brand, but you want that kind of engine and you want to build your own bike. Let's say you want to refurb, a Harley frame or something like that. You think, well, actually, do you know what? Take that engine, put that in that frame, and you've got a decent ride there. Yeah, you might want to debadge it a little bit so nobody knows that it's a Shine Ray or whatever. And it's a Harley Davidson, or you want people to think it's a Harley Davidson. I get that. But look, do you know what? I think that's a decent shout there by Shine Ray with this engine. It looks pretty decent. I mean, let's have a look there. Hold on. Where is it? There we go. Where's that picture? There we go. I mean, it looks pretty decent, I've got to say. There we go. I mean, it looks all right, doesn't it? I mean, it certainly sounds right. I mean, it's, if I was just, somebody who was not into Harley Davidsons or not into motorbikes, let's say, if I heard that, I'd just think, well, it's a Harley. It's a Harley. It's a V twin. It's a Harley. You'd have to be listening to it a lot more to think, okay, that's different. Yeah, I know they put the cut off pipes on there as well. So, it wouldn't be sold in a bike like that. There's no way. You'd have to put aftermarket pipes on it as well and all that kind of stuff. But it's and again, this all depends how much they're going to charge you for this, right? It really depends. But I would say that's a decent shout there. That's a decent effort for a Chinese company. And this is what I've said in previous videos as well. People mock the Chinese brands or the Chinese manufacturing, but you've got to look at where they're going. You've got to look at what they're producing now, and I'm sure, I know the purists, of Harley Davidson would not want this, but I think if you're looking for that kind of engine, that kind of sound, that kind of feeling, but you don't have the money, or you're looking to do up a bike and, maybe put an engine in or you want to build your own hardtail chop, that kind of thing, hardtail bobber, whatever, and you're looking for this kind of engine. Yeah, look, I've got to say this. When quite a few times I've said, I want to build another hardtail chop and or a bob or something like that. And I always said, you know, the next one I build would be for a custom bike. The next one would be with a Harley Davidson, because I've always used Japanese engines, right, for most of the stuff that I've built. So I haven't really done anything or built anything with a Harley Davidson engine. But if I'm saying to myself, right, all I'm going to do, I'm going to get a hardtail frame from somewhere that would fit a Sportster 1200, whatever. And I thought, do you know what? Instead of going to spend, you know, X, Y, Z thousand on a Sportster donor bike, why don't I just get one of these? And do you know what? It's not. I would consider it. I would definitely consider it. You know, if they're producing a package, let's face it. I mean, if you're going to take one of these bikes and they offer them for let's say £3,000 or £4,000, let's say dollars, shekels, whatever it is, but a relatively new 1200 Sportster is going to cost you £8,000 or £9,000. But you know, you're not going to keep that bike, or you're just going to rape it for parts and engine and make your own bike. And you think, well, actually, do you know what? It's not a bad shout, really. So there we go. I mean, let us know what you think about this. You know, the Shine Ray. I don't know how you pronounce that, the Shine Ray or Shin Ray engine, but it's comparable power to the latest 1200s, or the last 1200s, I should say. It's, you know, it looks pretty much the same. You know, what bike it will go in, who knows? I mean, crikey, it could be in anything, couldn't it? I mean, it could be another Sportster type bike. They could be doing another sort of clone on that. I just want to know if Harley Davidson have had anything to do with this. In that, not in the engine's development, because this was apparently developed in Italy as well, or designed in Italy and tested in Italy. I assume it's going to be built in China, but this was built in Italy. So it's whether this will. It's also what market this is for, whether this is for Chinese market, whether it's for the global market apart from Europe and the United States and Canada, let's say. I don't know. But here we go. Mia, instead of potato, will it make exhaust note of noodles? Ah, you're too funny. You are a comedian, mate. I tell you what, I really enjoy some of your comments. I really do. Here you go. Marcel Hengst, hello there. Hello. Oh, great channel. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, we are talking price, quality. Any comments on the FTC warranty news? Okay, I'm going to be getting onto that next, Marcel. But absolutely right. This is all about the price of this, how much is it going to cost, or how much they're going to charge in whatever guise it is, and the quality. That's what you're going to be looking for, the quality. And you won't really know about the quality until if it's actually been running for a couple of years and what it's going to be like. But all you can kind of say is that actually over the last sort of couple of years, over the last couple of years or so, that Chinese motorcycle manufacturers who have cloned other motorcycle engines. It's whether they have improved the quality that much that people are not even considering that as a factor. And what I was trying to say was that I wonder if this is under license from Harley Davidson, or whether they have actually given their stamp of approval, and whether they've sold or getting some kind of residual percentage off this engine being sold around the world. I would kind of hazard a guess. If it was me, I would hazard a guess that Harley Davidson have done some kind of deal with Shunray over the licensing over this, and they're getting some residual percentage payback on, each unit that will be sold. Because essentially, I don't know how copyright will go, but I would essentially look at this and say, look, you've copied the engine, you've made a few. You can't, or can you make the exact same engine and just say, well, it was, the same kind of development. We've developed this by ourselves. You might develop this by yourselves, but you've got the same, the plans from anyone else. I don't know, but here we go. Look, definitely, I would use one, no problem. I think a lot of people would. I think a lot of people would use this. Would use this engine, especially if they're looking at, an alternative use for it as well. Here we go. In Florida, most dealerships are charging $3,000, $5,000 over MSRP, not including all the fees. Chased away a lot of bikes. Do you know what? I talked about this in the last live show, didn't I? About people or dealerships in the United States. How they differ from us around the world as well. Wow. Okay. We're not gonna talk about that because who knows? Price, quality, slave labor. I don't know how that works in China, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure what to think about the Chinese. Well, I don't know either. I've got to say, let's say thank you to Stephen this morning who sent me an email with the links to this as well, because I thought, oh, crikey, what's this? This is interesting. This is really interesting. So, the Chinese bikes or Chinese manufacturers have actually produced an engine here that it seems is good. It's good. I mean, it certainly sounds good. I mean, and if it could work, great. And what kind of bikes would go with, the gears or the cogs start, working overtime. Think, how could you use it? What kind of bike will it go into? Will it be, will they be producing Sportsters with, Euro 5, or Sportster looking bikes, I should say, not Sportsters, but Sportster looking bikes that are Euro 5 compliant? Will they be sold over here? How many people would be buying them? That kind of thing. Have Harley Davidson missed out on a trick again? Are Harley Davidson going into some kind of relationship with Shineray to produce a Chinese Sportster? I'm guessing here or whatever, or just thrown out ideas. I have no idea, but they're interesting. But look, as I say, they've produced engines. The Chinese produce engines, and they're getting better and better. If you look at the motorcycle shows, I can't say for around the world. I can only say for the ones around Europe and also in the UK, that Chinese motorcycle manufacturing is getting more and more prominent now. And you certainly notice the last 3 or 4 years, the quality of these bikes is just getting better and better and better. And, it was the same back in the day here in the UK when we had Japanese bikes coming over. There was a lot of resentment against them. There was a lot of bickering. There's a lot of people saying, no, they're not good. They're not good. And Japanese bikes just went better and better and better, up and upward trajectory, whereas British bikes had flatlined, and that's why they just couldn't compete, because they were flatlined, and Japanese bikes going up and up and up. And this is where now Chinese bikes are. They're kind of, wouldn't say everywhere else is flatlined, but they're just coming in at price point down here, and they can produce and produce and produce. Now, how they're producing it in terms of their labor laws and all that sort of stuff, I mean, I don't know enough about it, to be quite honest with you. There we go. It's a question of quality. Some of the Chinese built motorcycle engines have poor quality pistons and rings. Machine work wasn't bad, but I think the metal is not top shelf. Soft aluminum. Well, do you know what? Again, they're getting better and better all the time. There we go. I agree. If I wanted an Evo Sport, that's what I would get. They're kind of cheap, or I'd look for an old XS650 Yamaha. But as I say, you can buy these. Look, you can buy now engines that are exactly the same as whatever you want, right? Or you can buy the parts, and those parts are produced in China, let's say, or they might be produced in India, or they might be produced wherever, so the part is the part. Where it's made these days is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of irrelevant, really, isn't it? I don't know. If threats to Taiwan become more ominous, it will be harder to plan ahead to sell Chinese products. Well, yeah, okay. Again, I always kind of temper my enthusiasm about any of this, but global events, and it's a changing world all over. But there we go. Roberts, hello. The magic continues. Well, it certainly does. I don't know what magic you're referring to, but I'll just say yes. I'll just agree with you. Anyway, look, it's an interesting concept, isn't it? But should we get on to the next subject? But a Chinese Sportster Evo clone engine clone. It's coming. It's coming. Where will it? Where? Well, let me just get rid of that. Where will it end? You know, what kind of bikes they produce? I don't know. I don't know. Right, next subject. But as I say, you know, before I get onto that, you know, just keep on putting your comments in the chat or in the video chat afterwards, and appreciate any support for the channel to keep on producing the content. And say there's loads of content coming. It's already produced. There's a lot of experimentation on the channel as well, and it's about producing just content that hopefully people will find interesting. And it's not the same. It's not the run-of-the-mill stuff. You know, people keep on asking me about doing motorcycle reviews and all that sort of stuff, and I think I've made a few videos about that. You know, it's not about not wanting to do them. It's about not being handcuffed to produce a particular style of review that is, you know, overly positive when it doesn't warrant to be positive, you know. And I think you've got to be independent. You've got to give your own opinion, and this is why I'm fiercely adamant that YouTube should be about it should be about opinion. It should be about personal opinion, personal interaction. And this is why I love doing these live shows as well, and I don't do enough of them, and I'm going to try and do more, because I like interacting directly. I like speaking to people directly at bike shows or bike rallies or whatever, or in I don't know, in the street at a cafe or in a pub or whatever. You know, but you know, all I can do is just keep on trying and doing what I do. As I say, you know, it's you know, if people like it, great. If they don't, they don't. You know, what can I do? There we go. Yeah, sorry, wrong one. There we go. Here we go. Does anyone know what the M8 emissions problem are? Did Harley start manufacturing again? Yes, they have started manufacturing again. Being quite tight-lipped about what the actual reason was or is, but there we go. Yeah, you're throwing a bunch of stuff out there. Good effort. I like it. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, you know, there's lots of stuff coming. As I say, there's lots of videos already produced. They're scheduled. Lots of little shorts coming. Just a bit of fun, tongue in cheek. But there we go. Yes, they are producing, but not 100%. Yeah, the factories there. And you know, again, there's still talk. I made a video as well, alluding to workers, Harley Davidson workers having some issues, and they've got this tier system, pay system, and all that sort of stuff, and issues that you know that isn't a story that won't go away as well. So I think they're going to have problems as a company. All the workforce, you know, the Harley Davidson story is not over. I would say that the Harley Davidson story is not over, but there we go. Right, okay. Next one. Well, we know Harley Davidson again, isn't it? Crikey. You know, I really should talk about something else. Should I just talk about motorcycle rallies instead? I went to a couple one recently. Went to a couple of nice ones recently. I'm planning to go another one this weekend. Going to different places around the UK. I'm trying to tie in with a few rallies as well. But yeah. Whenever I go places, doesn't mean motorcycle rallies. I always like to make little observations of what I see and what I hear as well. And a lot of these observations and what I hear, what I see, kind of make it into the concept for a video as well. So, you know, always have that in the back of your mind. If you're watching one of my videos, that you know, it's the spark, or you know, or for that video has come from something I've seen or something I've observed as well. Not always, but you know, so there's a lot of stuff coming. Anyway, Harley Davidson, yeah, they got the knuckles wrapped this week, didn't they? This last week from the Federal Trade Commission in the United States, and here we go. Here we go. And this is from, let me just share this one. This is from, hold on, Reuters. Here we go. Let me just make sure I've got this up here for you. There we go. Right. So Reuters, there we go. Just show a nice little Sportster on the front there. And they're saying, well, as we know, that the Federal Trade Commission said in its complaint against Harley Davidson, which was released at the same time as the consent agreement, that it had objected to language used by the motorcycle manufacturer, such as the use of parts and service procedures other than Harley Davidson approved parts and service procedures may void the limited warranty. And it goes on to the, lots of other stuff. And there's, quite a few other articles and everything like that. There's about a 30-day period where Harley Davidson have the right to object and all that kind of stuff. But then they're not the only company involved in this as well. And basically this, and as I said, I kind of made a quick short about it. It really depends where you're on the world and what kind of laws apply in that country about this void and warranty nonsense, that lots of we always hear about, from Harley Davidson, I'm going to avoid your warranty. So it'd be interesting to see now that if Harley Davidson are made to abide by this, or whether they can't backtrack. But they're stuck between a rock and a hard place in many ways, because they've got the emissions control, which they have to deal with, but also they have got this monopoly that they want to try and hold. And one is conflicting with the other. So one is totally illegal, and the other one say, well, we have to keep that. And the only way we can keep up standards is making sure that everything is, sold, let's say, or everything is compliant with these emissions. But they're only selling the bike. So what other manufacturers, what people do to their motorcycles afterwards, should have nothing to do when the bike was first sold to meet with compliance, you see. So, and I think, these products should, as long as they're not hurting the bike in any way, shape and form, they shouldn't void your warranty. I always thought it was ridiculous myself. But there we go. So hopefully, we'll have a lot more of that. I mean, we all know now, we've probably all heard about this FTC ruling, or this judgment on Harley Davidson, and how bad it is, and this is where I've been saying for a long time. And I get slated for it all the time, and people send, comments and make horrible comments on the videos, and this kind of stuff, and they disapprove of what I say, or they say kind of things that what in my videos doesn't mean anything, it's rubbish and all this sort of stuff, and I always say, you're the Harley Davidson cheerleaders, those who have nothing said or bad said against their product or against the company. Now you've got, and this is usually comes from the United States, right, that audience. And look, you've got your own government, you've got the Federal Trade Commission are basically slating Harley Davidson. They're saying they should not be doing it. It's illegal. So all those people who've been listening to me all this time is saying, yeah, we agree. Now actually saying, well, look, it's not just the likes of this YouTube channel saying it, or this blogger, or this newspaper. Actually, it's us. Collectively, we're saying this is wrong. You can't have a situation where a company is dictating what you can and cannot do to your motorcycle and threatening you with voiding a warranty. But this is the other thing. I want to talk about this as well, because on the very day that this came out, I went to my local dealership, right? The next day I went to my local dealership, and I was thinking, right, I'm going to think ahead, think about planning for the winter riding, and maybe I might get some heated grips, right? So I went in there to look at heated grips, and the natural question was, are you going to fit these yourself, or do you want us to fit them? I said, no, I'll fit them myself. I said, so what's the warranty on these, the guarantee? And they said, 12 months. But immediately, and I'm not blaming the kid at all, I'm not blaming him, don't get me wrong. But immediately he said, well, if you do it yourself, that might affect the warranty, or that might affect the guarantee on it. Fast Belts, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Have a coffee on me or a beer on me. I will very much do that. Thank you. Or reinvest in the channel. That's definitely what I'll do. But anyway, so immediately it was this warranty fear, this warranty claim. If you do this work yourself, if you do this there. Now, my bike's out of warranty, but we're talking about the warranty on the product, and it's a Harley Davidson product, right? And it's just like, well, it obviously hasn't sunk in, and it hasn't, but this is where I always say, and I have a lot of sympathy for the dealerships, because the dealerships are stuck between a rock and a hard place, because as my understanding, they always have to go to Harley Davidson, or what you as the customer, that's what you should do. You should go to your dealership to put pressure on Harley Davidson, the company, to see if they will honor your warranty work. So it's always been a case that, hey, maybe you have to prove to them that whatever third party equipment or work that you've done to your bike has not interfered with that work, with the bike, and it shouldn't void your warranty. Maybe now with this ruling, you won't have to be so brazen about proving to them anymore. Maybe you just say, no, that's doesn't affect warranty. I want it changed under warranty, that kind of thing. So it's here we go, Stephen. Here we go. As for Harley Davidson threatened to avoid my warranty after a dispute, I did what I wanted. They voided my warranty. Well, they do. Gadget, there's a really good rally coming up very soon in Ireland. Sorry, we've got to get my glasses here. Oh no, got my glasses. Ran by the Druids, MCC. The Druids, yeah, it's the Druids. There we go. Oh, very nice, very nice. Do you know what? I keep on meaning to come over to Ireland as well. So I'd love to come over to Ireland and come to a couple of summer rallies as well. That would be cool. Do you know what? I was going to talk about this a little bit later on as well, but I wonder, all around, the United States and stuff like that, they seem to have been largely unaffected by a lot of this stuff. But over here, I know a lot of the rallies, certainly the last couple of years, they're just starting to start up again as well. So this year, I've noticed that a lot more are happening. I would love to come over. I'd love to come over and go check out a couple of those places, and just ride around Ireland actually in general. But there we go. I've been to Ireland before, but not biking, I should say. Here we go. Right, Stephen, because the warranty agreement on their end has been pitiful previously, as far as I'm concerned, I avoided a bunch of headache. Well, look, a lot of people do this. That's the problem. A lot of people would buy their bikes the last couple of years, and I'm not just talking about Harley Davidson, I'm probably talking about all manufacturers as well, but they would say, oh, do you know what, I'm just going to do it, and to hell with the warranty and all this, because we don't care about this bloody warranty or whatever. But what I always said is, if you are unsure, if you're not sure about it, because of the way Harley Davidson in particular have acted, and because they are the bikes that you're most likely to do some kind of modification on, I said, to be sure, don't touch your bike. Just leave it as it is. Leave it stock. Don't do anything. Or if you're going to do it, make sure you do it by the dealership and get them to write it. If you're unsure, a written guarantee, and that's it. But if you don't really care, then just do your own thing. And so now my bike's passed. I've never really cared anyway. I haven't really done many major modifications on that Harley anyway, but I've done a few things now. But I just did it myself. A lot of those things that in the early days of the Softails and the Sport Glides with the Softails, people would just, because of this kind of scaremongering by Harley Davidson and by people in general saying, oh, you shouldn't do this, you're not allowed to do this, and I that was one of the reasons why I was putting out a lot of the video content about the Sport Glides and the Softails initially. We'll say, well, you can do this, or this is how it works, or so I think there's always a bit of false information, there's always scaremongering, but they've, as a company, they've been doing this quite a lot for a number of years now. And why? Because they just want to keep your business. They want to make sure that any money that is being spent is being spent in their direction rather than being spent elsewhere. So they're going to try and get you to make to spend your money on Harley Davidson parts and that kind of stuff. Now, let's just say you did put some, I don't know, any kind of third-party equipment on your bike, and it fails, let's say, and it destroys another part. then again, you're going to have to see the link of, well, which affected which. Okay, so let's just say you got a rear shock absorber, right? And it breaks, and it breaks. You're riding down the road, and it breaks the swing arm. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go along, right? So you say, well, what caused the swing arm to break? Well, the swing arm broke because of that shock absorber, right? The question is, should that swing arm have broken even with a shock absorber breaking? So you might see, this is where you would have to take this under advisement. So they say, yes, the shock absorber breaking caused the swing arm to break, but should the swing arm, as in chronological order, yes, this happened first and that happened, but should that swing arm have broken? Is that a warranty issue that you can, claim separately against Harley Davidson? And I think this is what this FTC ruling will really make a big play on now, to say, actually, just because something else happened, it didn't necessarily mean that your part on your Harley Davidson part on your motorcycle should not have broken. Just because, Revelator Alf put this part on his bike or put this part on your bike, it doesn't mean that you can void the whole warranty because, they've got evidence that it was all done properly, that kind of stuff. And also, I think they made a point in the FTC ruling as well. People are waiting for parts, people are waiting for manuals, people are waiting for all sorts of information on their bikes and everything, and they just can't get them. They just can't get all this stuff. So why shouldn't they do it themselves? I mean, the FTC ruling here, let me just say that there's actual wording that they put here. So it's also to do about the right of repair, and this is under President Biden. Let's have a look here. Sorry, yeah. President Biden came on. It was Hold on, if I can get this. I can't name the actual wording. What is it? It's there's a better game that it's not. No, there was something about, in particular, that they would not. You cannot have a system where a company is dictating that you've got to use their parts and use their authorized dealers or their authorized or their particular parts, their services, their procedures, whatever. If they're even, and you can't dictate that people use them even when they're not available. That is the key thing. So let's say we know that Harley Davidson have had problems in getting parts and delivering parts and all that sort of stuff. Well, actually, you know what? You've got to be able to produce those parts in the first place. So if, let's say, I've got my Harley in my workshop here, just over there, and I'm waiting for, I don't know, whatever part I want to put on it to come. So I can't ride that bike. I can't do anything with it until I get that part. And guess what? You got supply chain issues, so you can't deliver that part for another 3 or 4 months. Well, then I can go to motorcycle storehouse, or wherever, Zodiac, Custom Chrome, Performance Machine, wherever. Okay, and I can think, I just get it from them. I won't get it from Harley. I just get it from them. And within a week, my bike's back up on the road. Why can't I do that? Why can't I do that if that part is designed for that bike? Yeah. So if there's a problem with that part, then you go back to where you got that part from, but it shouldn't avoid that warranty. So there we go. Santos, hello. Nice to have you here, sir. I assume it's morning for you over there, Santos. Good morning. Right. It's indeed positive. The onus is on HD now. They need to prove that the aftermarket part voided warranty. Yes, this is what I mean. It's shifted now. Oh, sorry. If this ruling is carried forward and it becomes indeed what we hope it will be, yes, Harley Davidson need to prove, the onus is on them to prove that it was a problem rather than us having to prove that it wasn't. And I think that's the big thing. But also the onus is on Harley Davidson now to get their act together to say, well, actually, you've got to be able to supply parts a lot more freely and also provide support and information. So, sorry, I've just remembered what the other component of this was. So the Federal Trade Commission have also said that it's the right to repair. It's the right for motorcycle owners to be able to repair or work on their bikes in any way they deem fit. Okay, so that means either you do it yourself or you take it to any mechanic or anybody with, tools, whatever, who can work on their bike. And what they're saying that it's basically illegal, or they don't approve, let's say, that companies are making it increasingly difficult. It's not just Harley Davidson, this is, companies in general, right? Increasingly difficult for home mechanics or independent mechanics. And I've got videos coming out about this, right? That you cannot work on that bike without specialist tooling, or in the case of Harley Davidson, that you can't do some very simple things without the need to absolutely take it to a dealership and have, let's say, software unlocked, ECMs, that kind of thing. You cannot do it. They have to do it. So there isn't third-party software out there that we could use, that we could buy. We can buy software that has limited capability to interrogate ECMs or BCMs and that kind of thing, but we haven't got the full functionality, and so that's why you have to take it to a dealership, or you have to, or you have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands on a system that will kind of give you that key in, or you get some kind of an approval from Harley Davidson, who, as an independent workshop, you will pay thousands and thousands of pounds, dollars or shekels, just to be able to have that live link directly to Harley Davidson. And this is what at the FTC have basically said, that in itself forcing rider owners or independent workshops to absolutely have to go to Harley Davidson to have all this access to information, or to be able to work on your bikes 100% is not good enough. To make sure that all this access to the software, the electronics, is only through Harley Davidson is not good enough. And that's basically what they've said. Gadget, definitely, you'd be most welcome. Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I seem to recall you saying that before many months ago. So I always try and remember when people say nice things, and certainly invites. That's very kind. Thank you. David, hello, Alf. Hello. Have you seen the Chinese Bender LFC 700 cruiser? The power plant is 680 inline 4. The LFC pumps out 97 horsepower, top speed 125, and has a huge string wide rear. Now, I think I did a video of this, or a blog post about this, a while ago. And I think it was at the time when I was saying, watch out, these Chinese motorcycle manufacturers. They're not just producing the 125, 250s anymore, 350 cc's. They are going up and up and up into the mid-range and into the highs. I think recently they produced they're producing their first 1000cc regional as well. But yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking of, yes, I have seen it. Definitely. One Take Adventures with Joel and Deb. Hello. Claremont, Florida, checking in here. Hello, Claremont. Is it Claremont or Claremont? No, Claremont. Hello there. Hope the weather is well for you this morning. Good morning from Florida. Everybody's waking up in Florida. Good morning. How are you? I'd say it's about time this happened to H2. Well, I think a lot of people would agree. I think there's a lot of people that would say, look, this has just been unfair. This has been unfair strategy, unfair tactics, and unfair bullying. I'm not going to say by the dealerships again. I want to be very clear about this, because I don't. This is not their problem. This is what they've been told to do by the manufacturer, and I think so. There we go. Claremont, Florida. Here we go. Yeah. Venice. Yes, that's very good. I love it. Okay, this is people having just. You can't have a discussion amongst yourselves. What's the matter here? But look, hey. It's great that you are, and please keep that up. But I think, look, I think it's a really good thing that the Harley Davidson have basically had a shot across their bow on this, and people are actually saying, like, we're not putting up with this. We're not putting with this anymore. I've had enough of it. And look, people accuse me of scaremongering or being negative and stuff like that. But I just call it as I see it. And I call out the absurdities of not only with Harley Davidson, but motorcycle in general, or motorcycle life, whatever, and things that just confuse me. Some things that I find irritating, some things I just find ridiculous, and some things I just find really funny as well. And this is one of those things that I just think is just, if it was just me saying it, I would say, do you know what? You've got a point. Somebody actually once said it somebody said in the comments this week in one of the videos, he said, Alf, you need psychiatric help, and they were being serious. I was just like, what are you on about now? Somebody said I need psychiatric help. What, for having an opinion? What, for basically calling it as I see it? What for? I just, as I say, if you can't see there are problems with any dealership or any brand or any motorcycle, then you're living in some rose tinted spectacle world that nothing ever goes wrong. Well, unfortunately it does, things do go wrong. But look, Harley Davidson, I think, as with anything, all we want, or I would want, Cecilia would want, is that a company like a motorcycle company in this case can continue, can produce bikes that we like, can produce a service that we want, and will keep our custom, or keep us engaged, or keep us interested in their products. What you don't want is for any product or any manufacturer or any business to alienate you in any way, shape, or form. And unfortunately, whether you like it or not, Harley Davidson as a company have been alienating people for a long, long time. And the biggest reason that they have, or there are two big reasons why they have been alienating people. It's not to do with the technology. It's not to do with the kinds of bikes they're producing. It's two things. The price. One is the price, and two is the service or after sales service, in that the warranty issues, or having problems with the bikes and then they're not being able to fix them, or not being able to get parts for them, or supply you with parts. And I always make this point time and time again. It's I thankfully, touch wood, thankfully have never really had a problem in that regard. But I know lots of people have. Lots of people have. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world, United States and different states in the world, different states in the United States, Canada, South America, the Middle East, Far East, Europe, Australia, South Africa, wherever you are, there's always going to be a different experience, and there's always going to be a different approach to it, whether there are main dealers, whether there are multi-brand dealerships, whatever, but a lot of this comes down to national laws as well, what they're allowed to do and what bikes they're allowed to sell and at what price. And so there's always differences, but there is always common themes as well. There's always common themes out there. But anyway, look, so with this FTC ruling, will your relationship with your dealership or wherever you try and get your parts from, will that change? I say right now, I don't think there's going to be any change. I don't think there's going to be any change at the coalface, as we would say over here, at the coalface, where you're meeting your Harley Davidson representative at the service desk, at the parts desk, at the sales desk. But once this ruling becomes official and Harley Davidson have to comply with it, then the next big question is this. Right? Because this has been going on for a year or so, right? So you could argue that any problem that you've had with your bike and a warranty was denied over the last 12 months because the FTC will be ruling against Harley Davidson, then surely haven't they just opened themselves up to lots of people making lots and lots of claims for backdated work? I don't even know if that could be an issue. What about work for the last sort of 2 or 3 years where Harley Davidson have been, playing this game? Could people go back legally with a legal petition, let's say legal right or legal claim against the dealership, or not the dealerships, against the company, and say, look, hey, hold on, FTC have ruled that you shouldn't have said this, and all this time you have been saying it. I had this problem, I had to pay for it, now you need to pay me back. I would not be surprised if some legal eagles out there, some bright sparks, will be basically saying, hold on a minute, we've got there's a point of order here, Your Honor. You're going to be in trouble, and we're going to stick this to you. I mean, this is just another thing that Harley Davidson do not need, of course, and I appreciate that. And I certainly don't want to be the one who's saying to people, you should go back and try and get your money and, force them out of business. Or no, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that could this open up the floodgates for people to say legitimately, not illegally or illegitimately, but legitimately go back and say, hey, do you know what? You've got to fix this bike or reimburse my money or something like that. Here we go. DB, another warranty issue which gets comments a lot is HD dealers saying sorry not covered. Examples are condensation in dials, frame rusting after 12 months, chrome rusting, the list goes on. That's the problem, isn't it? The problem is here, whilst we've had this FTC opinion, let's say, and there's a right to appeal, let's say within 30 days, it comes down to the specifics, doesn't it? It comes down to the specifics of what a company will do in particular states, in particular countries, what the legal right is, and what the industry standard is. And this is where we're going to be scratching our heads over the next, scratching one side of my head in the next few months. And I'm sure the dealerships are going to be doing that. And I'm sure Harley Davidson are going to be doing this as well. Because it comes down to the lawmakers to actually say to Harley Davidson and to us in general, to say, look, this is about everything on your bike. If your frame rusts after a year or 2 years, it should not be rusting after 2 years, no matter what conditions it's been ridden in. Right, let's say, right, or chrome. Your chrome should not be rusting within 12 months. Those fat boys that had the pitting on the not the frame tubes, the fork tubes, within the first couple of years. There's quite some big examples of that, right? Some were placed under warranty, some weren't. It depends which country you were in. Some weren't. And there's this big disparity between where you're on the world, what dealerships you're dealing with, what national Harley Davidson you're dealing with, and so on and so forth, and how that is separated out. And but it comes down to the lawmakers. They're the ones who've got to define. So if they define, they say everything on that motorcycle should be sacrosanct, as it were, for that 2-year warranty period. In that, nothing should go wrong. And if anything goes wrong, or the performance of it or the look of it goes wrong within 2 years, let's say in the case of a Harley Davidson warranty, without any natural exposure, or with unnatural exposure. In other words, if you poured acid over it, then obviously, that's an unnatural thing. But general wear and tear, riding it in all weathers, it should not. If something happens with it 2 years, that is a warranty issue. That is a substandard finish, fit, whatever. Okay. Now, the one thing that always got me with Harley Davidson as well, so I bought my Harley, and afterwards, after it was sold to me, they said, yes, the only thing that under warranty is not included. But oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, it's the clutch. The clutch is not covered under warranty. I was like, what? What's wrong with that? The clutch is not covered under warranty. What's the matter with you? But so it's these kinds of things. So it's going to have to be stipulated exactly what is covered and what isn't covered, and what the right of protection is. But look, again, it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if there's going to be some pushback from Harley Davidson, because they're going to want to protect their product. They're going to want to protect their profit margins, aren't they? They're going to want to see what's going to go on. Or you're still going to have that attitude within the dealerships or what they're told by their principals, what they're told by the company, perhaps, or they're directed by the company to say, you know, you can say to people, do you know what? Yeah, you can use any other product on your bike, whatever, but we would have to really make sure that nothing else was affected. And you know, if it did affect, let's say, the engine or the drivetrain, then we have to go into lengthy you know. So they were kind of trying to put the scare on you a little bit to say, well, if you did this, then we're gonna have to investigate, and it could take a long time, and da 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 da, and you know. So I wouldn't be surprised if whilst they agree that third-party products can be put on your bike, they may still kind of word it in a way, you know. But there we go. But anyway, look, how long have I been? God, I've been on here for an hour, crikey. But thank you all for joining anyway. But look, you know, Harley Davidson, FTC got a bit of a smack, didn't they? Really. The Chinese Sportster engine, yeah, pretty decent there as well. I would say I think that's an interesting one. I think that's, again, watch out for the Chinese motorcycle manufacturers who are producing bigger engines now. You're going to see it more and more. You're going to see it more and more. You're going to see a lot more bikes coming out. And as I say, in the strong holds of, you know, European biking or bike in the United States and Canada, yeah, perhaps they won't be that successful. But if you look at a global market, if you're looking where Harley Davidson's would appeal to people if they only had the money, then I think an engine like this and a bike like this from China would definitely appeal. You know, and it's no surprise the likes of Honda with their Rebel, yeah, that's been quite popular around the world, and other, you know, Kawasaki Vulcans, you know, that kind of thing, or other Japanese motorcycle manufacturers' efforts at producing cruisers. Yeah, you know, lots of people would say, oh, you know, these are great bikes. They're not Harley Davidsons, they're not Triumphs, they're not Victories, they're not Indians, but they really are good bikes, you know. And I get lots of messages and comments and or emails, I should say, from people saying, look, I've got this Suzuki whatever, what were they called, the M109, the M109s, yeah, something like that, or the Intruders, or whatever it is. That's not the Intruder. Help me out, people. Whatever that Suzuki was. The Honda back in the day. This is pre-Rebel. They had like a cruiser, didn't they? Bike for only for a couple of years as well. But you know, they've all done them. You know, Yamaha, Yamaha VMAX is a bad example, but the Yamaha VMAX, which I mistakenly said it wasn't that fast, but it was. I just hadn't opened it up properly. This is a video back in the day, by the way, I made. But you know, that was originally designed for the American market as a competitor. You know, like a big powerhouse cruiser, upright cruiser type thing. But say, you know, so other motorcycle manufacturers have produced or dipped their toe into this. Yamaha produced lots of those bikes recently, those kind of custom-y type bikes with a custom flavor to them. So that, you know, other manufacturers have gotten into because not everybody wants to have, you know, a sports bike. Hi Norris, how are you? Thank you for joining. Not everybody wants a sports bike. Not everybody wants the same kind of bike. Not everybody wants an American Harley Davidson, Indian, Victory, whatever. They want something else. But not everybody, and I keep on saying this, not everybody has the financial might, let's say, to go and make these big ticket item, big ticket purchases. So that's why things like Chinese motorcycle manufacturing can only get better, can only get more and more appealing to lots of people around the world. Maybe not necessarily in the UK or Europe or, you know, United States, but, you know, certainly other parts of the world. And I think it's an interesting one. Right, but look, I think there's a lot more in this story on the FTCs, definitely, with Harley Davidson and how their warranty is going to be affected, how dealerships, you know, affected as well. But with this Chinese Sportster engine, yeah, let's see. You know, it could be a good thing. You know, Could be a bad thing. I don't know. You know, I'm sure lots of people would say absolutely no, never. But there you go. Right. Unless you got any questions, say I'm just going to. Well, I did want to say something else. There's yes, right. So I kind of touched on it earlier on. Motorcycle rallies. I've been going to quite a few of those recently, and I've noticed quite a few funny things again. Definitely, bike rallies are starting up in this. Well, they're not. They're starting up. They've been going for quite a while in this country this year as well. But so we are in the rally season now here in the UK. So a lot more of going on, a lot more. I think what we're finding this year in the UK, around Europe, is that the rallies that are going or being held this year are the first ones for a couple of years, because they haven't been able to do them for a couple of years, let's say. So you know, it's good. It's good to get out and about and see faces and see bikes and just go to bike shows and and just ride in and just go to rallies. And I mean, I enjoy them. I don't get to many as I want to, uh for lots of different reasons, but I always enjoy going to them. I can't remember my very first rally. I would have been about, I don't know, 17. I can't remember, 17 or 16, 17. No, not 16, 17. So what, over 35 years ago, something like that would have been my very first one. But I've never said that I'm a regular goer. I just kind of go. I tend to go to my local ones, and more so because of just time and stuff like that. But I always say I need to go somewhere else. So I got one possibly going to this weekend, but I also may go a bit further afield as well. So I'm looking for one a little bit further north that I might try and get to as well. But there we go. But I just love going to bike events. It doesn't have to be bike rallies. I like going to bike events, or I like going to somewhere that I've not been to before. And a couple of years ago on the website, I put a motorcycle events page, and you go to, this is what I found about motorcycle events, and maybe you found this true as well. There are a couple of websites that used to have motorcycle events pages, but I don't know what's happened, but maybe because of the COVID, whatever, they just never really updated them properly. But they're just not very good anymore. They're just not very informative. They don't have all the information anymore. So a lot of it's gone onto Facebook as well, but I kind of find that all a little bit hit and miss. And I say, because I want to know, I'm one of those typical people, biker, right, who's always got 100 things going on at the same time, especially with this kind of thing, YouTube as well, or working on my bikes. You can see it there. The other one that I've built. As I say, I've got another project coming in a couple of weeks, hopefully. There, I'm not announcing what it is yet, but that's going to be an interesting one, hopefully. But it's but yeah, it's I don't know. I forgot what I was just about to say. But yeah, there's lots of stuff on the website. There's lots of stuff that I'll be doing. There's lots of stuff that I want to include on the website, and one of those things was about going to rallies, and also the information about rallies and where is that held. And as I say, I produce content about YouTube and about workshop and working on bikes, and I can't always get to all the places that I really want to. But I'm one of those typical people which I'll say, right, oh, okay, I've got a free day today, I've got a free afternoon, I've got a couple of 3 hours, as we would say, and I'll say, right, where can I find information about what's going on, where I can ride to right now? So I kind of look, Facebook, let me have a look. So I don't know where else to look, right? So I go, right, okay, events, anything around me. There we go. And I kind of go, that. Or I just go to the places that I normally would know. Or I go to like mag groups or places like that, or anywhere that's got a page that lists any kind of thing, whether it's motorcycle club pages or mag club pages or biker club pages or local bike or regional bike groups or county bike groups. You know, they usually have Facebook pages and stuff like that. And they say, okay, oh yeah, they've got an event on today, or they've got an event on tomorrow, or there's a poker run here and all that sort of stuff. So I do try and think, right, okay, I'll just quickly go along to that or not, you know, but I say it's always very hit and miss with me because of all the other stuff that I'm doing. And I'm always trying to fit all this YouTube stuff and my workshop stuff and my bike building stuff or riding in general in and around all family stuff as well. So there we go. Gadget, thank you very much. Thank you very much. There we go. Say hello. Hi, Alf. Hi, everyone. Say, everyone, hello to Nures. Hello. Tegan, hello. Thank you for joining. Very enjoyable. Thank you very much. Myself, thanks for it. It was interesting again, by the way. There's also a positive side for this HG because they have more upsell opportunity now. Need to offer non-HG products as well. Look, I completely agree with you. Why don't Harley Davidson also sell other products as well? The dealerships, this is. Why don't they open up and say, look, you know, we'll sell. I'm not saying they should sell everything, but look, if you go into a dealership, you ask the parts department, they'll pick out catalogs from other manufacturers as well. So they do it. There we go. Can always come to Portugal. Go. We have a nice meeting. Yes, 14th to the 17th. July. Yes, remind me what that is. Is that the Faro one? Is that the Faro bike show? Isn't it the bike? Right? No, is that the one I'm thinking of? Surely it must be. Although not a HD, it's a good start as you get price since the sport's no longer available in the UK. Stephen, hello. Thank you. You're the one who sent me the email this morning. Yes, we're talking about the Chinese Sportster Evo. Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I'm with you. I think we're on the same page on this one. Yeah. Norris, yeah, Faro. Yeah, there we go. The Faro show. I know a few guys who go to that, actually. Not being myself. Fun enough, I've actually been in Portugal at the time of the Faro show, but I wasn't on my bike. I was there for other reasons. Let me just put it that way. But there we go. Yeah, so there we go. Right, anyway, so look, let us know. Send me emails, whatever, if you want me to put a motorcycle events page or a series of pages on the website. If you want to send in details of your motorcycle rally or whatever it is, I'm not going to make it a restrict it in any way in terms of, it could be a motorcycle club event, it could be a mag event, it could be whatever. The only problem that I found with it when I tried to do it in the past is that if you try and look at a global thing, it doesn't quite work. So I don't know whether I just keep it to the UK or to the Europe. I don't know. But I think possibly I'd start up with a European, UK thing or whatever, and maybe just add the big ones from the United States or Canada or Europe. I don't know. But let us know if you want me to set up it's very easy for me to set up a calendar or some kind of page where you just have to add in. And it would, or I just go to someone like the mags, and I'll just copy what they've got on their mags, and I'll put them in there. The problem is, say, if you go to someone like Facebook, unless you're actively searching in a particular group, then you might miss it. And sometimes I go looking for these rallies or things to do on days or a weekend that I've got off, and I'm not actually doing anything. You kind of hear it from word of mouth. All the local ones, fine, but if I want to go further afield, it's, and I say sometimes I don't do my research, and I'm sure I'm exactly the same as any other person. I just don't do my research, and I think, I'm a bit of a loss today. What should I do? All right, what can I look for? What's happening? And you just don't really need to know. So if there was something that I could help, and I could produce a page or a series of pages to say, this is the UK, this is what's happening today, or you can search all the dates and everything. I think that might be a good way to go. But anyway, right, so that's it. If you want me to do more live streams as well, live shows, I mean, I really enjoy this. I really enjoy speaking to people as well. But if you want me to do more shows, let us know. If you want me to, if you want to bring out discussions, just say, look, Stephen, he sent me information about the Chinese Sportster, and we can dig into that a little bit more, or, more information about motorcycles in general, motorcycle life in general, events, that kind of thing. By all means, get in touch with us. Let us know. If you want to come on and discuss anything, or discuss a rally or an event that you want to promote as well, and I'm doing a live show, or you want to discuss anything about motorcycles or whatever, let us know, and then we'll give you the link and you can come on and we can discuss it as well. But that's all good. But to say, I love doing the live shows. I'm going to try and produce a lot more. There's loads of content coming anyway. And what I used to do, I'd say, right, okay, if I wasn't producing any content on a particular day or series of days, I would do a live show. But I've got so much content coming now. The channel has become more like a rolling magazine, as it were, of opinion, of thoughts, of ideas, of news, of tech pieces and all that kind of stuff. And I think the live shows just have to come in. They just have to be parachuted in as and when. And if you want to watch them, great. If you don't, then you can watch them hopefully at a later stage. But there we go. Jeremy, hello. Yes, more streams, please. Fun to watch this morning in Texas. Well, thank you. Good morning to you, sir. And I enjoy doing them. I got to say, I enjoy doing them, and it's good to have this, immediate interaction as well. But look, I will definitely hope to do something. I may just drop in tomorrow night as well. It really depends. I've got a long day ahead of me tomorrow, but I've got the family are away tomorrow night, so I either hit a bottle of whiskey. No, I'm not. or I watch some trash TV, which I don't really like watching anymore. Or I do something like this. But I say, if there's anything else, let us know. Send me emails. Probably the best way to do it. Send me emails about what you like to discuss. One final thing, I love getting pictures from you guys. You send in your photos of your bikes. Okay, I've got to say it, but at the same time, I kind of hate it as well, because it puts my bike to shame, a lot of it. So I've been getting quite a few people saying, hey, Alf, this is my bike, and I go, that's beautiful. Damn, my bike's so bad. So, keep on sending those. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the comments. Keep on sending all those nice comments. I appreciate it. And all the horrible ones, I'm just going to ignore you. Simple as that. It's just too much energy, too much bandwidth to waste my time on those. But I do pay particular attention to the funny ones. There's lots of funny comments coming recently. Some good comedians out there, I got to say. Some decent comedians out there. So I like that. I like that a lot. Right. So lots of content coming. Thanks for your support. Keep on supporting in any way you can. The super chats, super thanks, those thanks buttons behind at the bottom of the video, or go to the website. There's support links there as well, as in like a crowdfunding type thing, and that helps to produce content, get equipment, that kind of thing as well. But it'll also help me secure ideas for the future, and what I can cover as well. So there's always a million and one ideas going on in the mind, but it's just most of that, let's say 99.9%, is you put on the back burner because you just cannot do it. But obviously, with support, it kind of unlocks certain things that you might be able to do. But anyway. Hopefully I'll do a lot more live shows. Hopefully you'll enjoy them. Hopefully you'll be involved. Just let us know, ask your questions, let us know sort of topics you want to discuss. It doesn't have to be about Harley Davidson, right? I know I talk about Harley Davidson, but it doesn't have to be. It could be about anything else, and any other bike related stuff, motorcycle life related stuff, whatever. Bikers, I don't know, whatever. Motorcycle rallies, motorcycle clubs, which I don't really need to know anything about, but anything. Tech stuff, electrical stuff, engine stuff, whatever. 125s, 50 cc's, 1000 cc's, doesn't matter. Love them all. Right, I think that's enough. I think so. Right, have a good rest of your day. If you're United States, have a great day. If you're in Australia, good night, get to bed. And if you're anywhere in between, enjoy yourselves. Right. All I could say is don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share. You know the score. Check out the website, revelatoralpha.com, where I think I will add an events page, or try and start developing one. Right. Cheers. James, before I go, thanks for the videos, Al. You're very, very welcome. See you all. If I can end it. There we go.